Welcome to today's show where I'm going to be talking about small sets, how you can ship it right, how you can ship it wrong, how you can save money, where you can throw your money down the drain. Now, if you're in a hurry and you want my entire show in a nutshell, I'll give it to you right now. And that is, use the smallest box that will comfortably fit around your set that you can, because that gives you the best chance to not incur dimensional weight charges, and it makes your package the lightest possible. There you go. That's all there is to it. You want to know a little bit more? Then keep watching. All right. So what I have here, I have little sets, I have big sets. Today I'm going to be talking about the little sets. What differentiates a little set from a big set? The main thing is that a little set will most often be shipped through a domestic carrier, either the U.S. Postal Service, the Royal Mail, what have you. And what's most important about the little set is the weight of the box. What's most important about the big set is the size of the box, because most likely you're guaranteed that it will incur dimensional charges, and most likely you will be shipping it through private carriers like UPS or FedEx. So that's the main difference between the little set and the big set. So let me go through these little sets real quickly. So you have your poly bags, and those are super easy to ship. They'll be under 4 ounces, under 100 grams. Use a bubble mailer, super easy. Then you have your class 5s. The class 5s I categorize because they're going to be, again, really easy to ship. They're going to be under a pound, under 500 grams, including these little itsy bitsies. So that's why I give it class 5. Now I give these classes in my Lego reviews as well, because that's easy for me to remember my nomenclature for how to categorize stuff, how I'm going to ship stuff. Class 4, here, a little bit bigger. You're going to, if you can, you're going to try and keep it under a pound, under 500 grams, but most likely they'll be a little bit heavier. Then you have your class 3s, and you'll notice in most of these you're just having 2 different sizes, right? Your class 3s, again, you just have 2 different sizes mainly, and again, those will be a little bit bigger. In Royal Mail, this is going to be your biggest size that still qualifies as a small parcel. And then you have your class 3 XLs. Why do I have those? As they're small sets, but they're a little bit different. So take a look at this box. Look how crazy long this box is. So this box is hard to ship. Sometimes you're going to be shipping it domestically. Sometimes you're going to be shipping it privately. Sometimes it's going to incur dimensional weight. Sometimes it just depends, because these boxes are so long, they're really, really hard to find a right size box for. So they're class 3 XLs, and they're so hard that sometimes if I'm going to be paying for the shipping for this set, I may pass it up altogether as an investment opportunity. I may just not even ship it because they're so difficult. All right, and then lastly, you can see on the chart the class 1s are all going to be heavy, and you have class 2 and your class 1 here, and they're all going to be much heavier, and I will cover those on a different show. Now, why is it so important? Why is it so important to keep your sets as light as possible? Let me throw up the graph there of the costs. And you can see I have the eBay commercial rate up there, and I also have the UK Royal Mail up there. Thank you, UK, for being my biggest watcher outside the United States. And what do you notice? Well, what you notice about that graph is that they are in whole number tiers. So the moment you get a little bit above that tier, you're bumped into the next one. So 3 pounds, 1 ounce puts you at the 4 pound rate. 2,001 grams puts you at the 5 kilogram rate. So you really, really need to stay under those tiers. That's why it's so important to pack your sets as light as you can get. And what are you going to look for in a box? I'm going to put up all the box sizes that I use. Really, if you count these number of sets, there aren't that many different size sets, so maybe you stock 6, 7 boxes. I like to use new boxes. What are you going to look for in a box? Well, since you want to stay as light as possible, what you're going to try and do is get a box that exactly fits your set, right? That's mainly what you're going to do. Now you can see this one's a little bit wider because it's hard to find some of those skinny boxes, although I have some up there. For this thick set, I wouldn't use a 2-inch box just because it's a little bit too tight. And it really doesn't save that much weight. So that's what you're going to look for in a box. You can see there all the box sizes that I use, and they're all tailored to these different sizes. Now the one box that I haven't used up there that I put anyway is, again, the box from Paper Mart for this super long one. I searched around, it looks like a really, really good shipping solution for this long set. Like I said, I never pay for the shipping of these guys myself. I always make someone else pay, either it be Amazon or through Bricklink or however. So those are the boxes that you're going to want to use. Now, where are you going to buy your boxes? How are you going to get them? I buy most of my boxes through Staples or through Uline just because they have a good selection. They're local. It's easy to get them quickly, and I don't have to pay very much. So I end up spending between 20 cents to $1 a box. And as you can, if you remember back from those shipping tables, if a couple of those boxes are fit and get you below a threshold, you're easily going to make that 20 cents, make that $1 back up again. But for sure, look for coupons. The coupons didn't used to be they're less common now than they used to be, but you can still find them. You can still get stuff for cheaper, but I always buy in bundles. Again, that lowers your price. And lastly, you can use free boxes. So you can obviously save a lot of money if you use free boxes like are offered from Postal Service, or free boxes like you just reuse your shipping boxes. So that's another way that you can get boxes, is just use free ones. Now, I don't really like using the free ones for a couple reasons. Number one, it doesn't really look that professional to reuse a box that's advertising someone else, right? Maybe that's a little superficial, but that's one reason why I don't like using them. These U.S. postal boxes use much thinner cardboard, and they don't give you support right where your set needs its support. So whereas these boxes, the flaps overlap, so they're giving you support where your box can crush. So some people use these very, very effectively. I don't like to use them, so I'm just telling you what I do. Of course, there are going to be lots of other ways that you can do it. The biggest disadvantage of reusing a box is, since it's free, you may be tempted to ship a set in it that doesn't really fit in the box. That's the biggest disadvantage to using free boxes, is you're tempted to use it because it is free, even though you may be paying more in your shipping because now it is too heavy. So I don't like to use the free boxes, except for in certain circumstances, and we'll get to that in just a second. But after your box, what's next most important? That is your packing material. And I love free packing materials. My favorite free packing material is paper, because crumpled paper provides an incredible amount of compressive strength and compressive give at the same time. It distributes that load. It really, really works well. And of course, it does have to be crinkled. If you're just wrapping stuff flat, it doesn't really do much. So crinkled paper is really, really good product. What is even better than crinkled paper, however, are bubble wrap. I love bubble wrap, but it's harder to get free. So if I get bubble wrap, I save it because it's really, really light, and it provides that same distribution of point weights. So bubble wrap is really, really good if you can get it for free. What do I absolutely hate? What I absolutely hate are air pillows. Do not use air pillows. In my experience, the worst condition sets that I ever get are because of using too many air pillows. And even if you don't use too many air pillows, a compressed air pillow is as hard as a rock. So even if you pack it exactly right, but pressure is on the top, a compressed air pillow will absolutely crush a set that it's on top of, because an air pillow under compression is just really, really hard. The other reason why I don't like using air pillows is because if you have enough space to put in an air pillow, it's a sign that your box you're using is too big. So unless, again, there's specific circumstances that I use air pillows, generally I don't. The other things you can use are these packaging peanuts. They're really light. They make a mess. I generally don't use them just because they're so messy. All right, so there are your packing materials. And let's group all this stuff together. So you have the right size box, you have your right size packing materials. Let's go through an example. So the example is, let's ship this guy. So I calculated everything for my right size box, and we'll ship this guy, and we'll ship this guy. Now the reason why I chose these is because you have 1 pound, 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. So I'm going to pack them all into the box that I use, and let's see how they did. So you can see it there. And now let's pack it into a box that is free, just for a comparison. So there's my free box. I do like Lego boxes because they do look good. They aren't wrapped with all this, promotional stuff. But you can see, you may be tempted to use this box because maybe this is the box that Lego shipped me my Minecraft set in. But you can see how big it is. So now we reuse this box and go ahead and look at how much it weighs when you use the bigger box. You can see in the United States, 2 out of 3 times, I've saved an entire shipping class by using the new box instead of reusing the old box that is really too big. And in the case of the UK shipping, because there are fewer tiers, it's a little bit more important to stay under that tier, but also you don't have as many choices because there are just fewer tiers. But you can see we're tantalizingly close on this friend set using the new box to getting underneath that key threshold there and saving us a whole bunch of money. So what are some ways in which we could ship this friend set and get us under 1,000 grams? Look, we only have 35 grams to go. Well, one of the things that I do is, if we look inside here, sometimes I will trim these inner flaps. So if I trim those inner flaps and cut them off and fill it with crinkled paper, I can save myself 22 grams. The other thing I can do, instead of using crumpled paper, which is how I would normally package this, I can switch out that crumpled paper for my bubble wrap. And that saves me 42 grams by using bubble wrap, which is why I love to get this free, but bubble wrap is the only purchased packaging material that I use. How else could I save weight? Well, I could also save weight by reusing a box that exactly fits my set, right? And so this, again, it doesn't quite exactly fit, but it is a little bit better fit than my new box. And one of the things is it's hard to find these 3-inch boxes. So 4-inch boxes are just more common. So I could reuse that box in this circumstance, and reusing that box saves me 20 grams. It also requires one less piece of crinkled paper, which saves another 28 grams. So you can see there are ways to make it so you can, when you're starting with the best box that you can, to make this a little bit lighter. Now, most of the time I don't reuse used boxes, but Amazon makes it so easy that if I see certain boxes like this one, because they fit these class 3 boxes, Lego boxes so exactly, I do save very specific shipping boxes to reuse. For example, this one, because it can save me weight. So you can see, on the whole, for me, I like using the new boxes because I can stand them up on end. I can have a divider in that says class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5, right? And I can pull out exactly what I need. It saves me a ton of brain cells thinking through and saving me time when I'm going to be shipping, and knowing that I'm getting myself as good a chance as I can to stay under those thresholds. Will other people have other little tricks that they can use to save themselves a little bit of money, like cutting boxes down to save weight, or really, using other packaging materials to really save a lot of weight? Yeah, I'm sure there are other tricks you can use to save that weight, but for me, starting with a brand new box is the easiest and most efficient way for me to save the most money, along with the few key reused boxes that I also use. All right, so that's shipping small sets, shipping them effectively. You got to stay under that threshold. That is the key. Next time, I will talk about shipping your big boxes. But until then, Lego on.